Alright, this might be the telltale example that I'm going to show you. Very indicative of what we're seeing happening with lag like this. So if we move a little bit forward here, like he's spawning in. Oh, he's spawning in right there in front of me. Okay. That's just pure luck, or however you want to look at it for me. So looks like he doesn't know I'm there. I do not believe. Looks like he's gonna jump this cliff. No worries. Like he's got teammates shooting at me. Oh, so on the right, you can see his teammates shooting at me, but I don't see it for a while on my side. So they're shooting already. Looks like, when is that bullet gonna get there? Looks like it hit, it's pretty much hitting my cover at that frame. Let's see when that happens on the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. About 17. I would say about 17 frames. Not easy to see. So we'll look at some other things here. Mainly, we're going to look at the right, and we're going to see the first movement upward from him jumping. So he's about to take this jump. Okay, there's that upward movement. Looking at the right screen. Right there. So that frame right there is when he starts that upward movement for the jump. So if we look on the left, he hasn't even started jumping yet. He's barely out of his roll. Let's count the frames and see when he begins jumping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 20 or 21, I would give him credit for. Between 20 and 22 is that first upward movement. So he's appearing at least 20 frames late on my screen. That's an issue. I mean, look where he hasn't even jumped yet on my screen. On the right side, he's midair. Now, he is getting hit by my bullets, but that's pure luck. I don't see him. Obviously, I don't see him on my screen where he actually is. Any bullets that are coming from my gun that hit him is pure luck. So in order to make sure that everything's synced up, we're giving him a fair shake, giving myself a fair shake, as much of a fair shake as I can get with lag like this. We can look at the point at which he gets marked by one of my bullets. Now, when he gets marked by one of my bullets, that's one of the few instances in any game where you can tell everything is perfectly synced up. When that bullet travels and hits him, that's the only connection we have. The point that he gets hit by a bullet of mine, we know that the video is synced up. So let's take a look. So the beauty of this is he's not running stealth. I'm running mark on damage. So this is a perfect example of how we can get things perfectly synced up to tell, if somebody's lagging or not, right? So looking at the right screen, a red triangle and his name in red is going to appear above his head at the moment that bullet hits him and marks him. So it's kind of hard to see because the quality of his video is not the best in the world. Hasn't happened yet. Right there. Clearly, clear as day, you can see his name, not his name, but you can at least see the red triangle appear above his head, noting that he's been marked at that very moment. This frame right here. Okay, if we move to the left, when does that happen? Look at that! Look at that! He gets outlined. The exact same frame on both screens. So he's being marked at the same exact moment on both videos. That's how we know that both videos are perfectly synced up. Nobody's being given an unfair shake or anything like that. This is a real-time action on both sides. The first time I mark him, right there, both screens, same exact moment, okay? The problem is, look where he is on his screen, okay? He's mid-air, mid-jump. He hasn't even begun to jump yet on my screen. That's an issue. So that bullet that hit him to mark him, in reality, that's just plain luck on my part, I'm hitting him with pure luck. Now, obviously, when he goes from not jumping to jumping, he doesn't move left or right. So, in actuality, I'm hitting him how I see him on his screen. Not how I see him. I'm hitting him how he appears on his screen. I just don't know that. I think I'm hitting him before he's jumped. Wrong. I'm hitting him while he's midair right here. This first moment he gets marked, I'm actually hitting him when he's midair, mid-jump. I don't know that though, because on my screen I see him, he hasn't even jumped yet. But he hasn't moved left or right, so it's just pure luck. So we know everything's synced up, right? It's the exact same moment on both videos, he gets marked at the exact same time, okay? That's something you can't deny. A real-world action like that connects one player to another, aka a bullet traveling from one player to another and hitting that player, that's something you can't deny. That is a real-world action that cannot be unsynced, right? Another thing we can look at here is the score. As usual, we can take a look at when the score ticks up on both sides to make sure things are, synced up, just like we showed with the mark. So if I'm looking at the right, I'm going to see, okay, looks like right there. If you're looking at the red score, it goes from 461 to 462, right? Let's look over on the left. What do you know? Same frame. Again, the score is perfectly to the frame in a 60 frame per second video, perfectly synced up, not even a frame off, exact same frame. Going back and forth, look at that. This is right before I mark him at the same exact frame. So this is undeniable evidence that these two videos are perfectly synced up at this moment. Undeniable. undeniable. So let's move ahead. I mean, it's pretty obvious that we counted the frames already. You know, he's appearing super late on my screen versus what's actually happening. And where this becomes applicable is when he starts shooting me, right? So if he starts shooting me before I even know he's shooting me, he's going to get at least 2-3 bullets in me before I even know I've been hit. Maybe that's not true. Okay, so maybe he's getting 2 to 3 bullets in me before I know he started shooting. I'll probably be getting hit. I just don't know why, because I don't even see him shooting me. That's still an issue, you know? So you'll get hit by bullets real time. You just don't know. You won't know why, because the visual you are seeing, whether it's a guy jumping through a window, right? And he hasn't jumped through that window yet on your screen. That's a huge issue. You know, that's literally the definition of getting shot around a corner. So the real issue here is not, you know, when you actually get hit by the bullet, because that's always going to happen real time. There's not going to be a delay there. The problem is when you see somebody start shooting you, or when you see somebody in the first place, right? When he jumps through the window to start shooting you. You know, if he's through the window, or if he's around the corner on his screen before he is on your screen and you see nothing, what are you supposed to do, right? He's already going to be shooting you. So let's move forward here. Okay, so he's already, you know, he's taking that rope. I'm lucky to be alive at this point, to be honest. He's got another teammate shooting me. Looks like he's about to take... He's releasing that first rope and he's about to take another. Okay, so let's look on the right screen. Let's see when he's about to grab this second rope. Very hard to see based on his video quality. I'll try to point it out for you though. So his hand is very clearly open right here. And I would say, you know, right about there, he grasps onto that second rope. So if we move to the left, how many frames does it take for him to grab that second rope, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's the rope right there. We see it, 16th frame late. There's his second rope. 17, 18, 19, 20. Hand is still open. 21, I would say 22. I'll give him 22 to 23. 22 to 23 frames late. Again, that's more than 1/3 of a second late on my screen. And not only is that absurd, it's just unacceptable, you know? So, you know, on his screen, he's almost mid. He should be super visible on my screen. You know, you can barely even see him. I mean, we can go through this full motion so you guys can see just how delayed it is. I mean, obviously, when it's full speed, it's hard to see, but a little bit slower, it's a little bit easier to see. I mean, here's another good example. When he grabs this third rope, it's going to tug him upwards pretty fast. On his screen on the right, he's grabbing that third rope, boom, he goes up, upward motion. Probably right there, that frame. If I'm being relatively fair to him, he's moving up on that frame. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'll give him 18, 19 frames there. That's when he starts moving upward. Again, we're about 1/3 of a second delayed between screens. Okay, so he's still marked at this point from the first time I marked him, but what's going to happen here is going to be important to note. So he's going to become unmarked for a split second here on the rope. So if you look on the left, yeah, you look on the left, he's marked right there. My first mark that I made on him before is about to wear off right about now. That first mark has now worn off. Now if we move to the right, I'm going to mark him again. So I'm looking at the right screen. Looks like right there you can see again his red name and that red triangle appear right above his head. This frame right here. So going to the left screen. So he's about to get marked again, right? So the mark wears off right there. Let's look at the right screen to see when he first gets hit by me. Moving along here, there you go. He gets a hit marker from me. See that blood stain on the bottom left of his screen. This frame right here. So how about my side? It looks like it hasn't happened yet on my screen yet. That's okay. Let's see when it does happen. Oh, wow. Okay, only 1 frame later. So again, that means that actions from me that he's seen, they're perfectly aligned, you know, plus or minus 1 to 2 frames, you know? Again, let's look. So he gets hit by me on his screen. In other words, okay, so let's see when he gets marked again. Looks like, okay, that's the frame. So you look at the right screen. He's getting a hit marker by me. See that blood stain in the bottom left of his screen? This frame right here is when he's getting hit. So that, again, if we go to the left screen, it hasn't even happened yet. He hasn't even been marked by me yet. Looks like it happens 1 frame later. So he's actually, again, so he's seen things that haven't even happened yet, which is impossible. The only way it's possible is if my video is not synced up perfectly and I'm actually giving myself a disadvantage here and I'm giving him more of an advantage. So again, let's say, you know, an action I see from him happens 18 frames late on my screen, then we move that to 19 frames because he's actually seen an action I haven't performed yet on his screen. 1 frame late, or early, I should say. But, you know, still early. Not too bad, not too far off, but again, we give, you know, plus or minus 1 to 2 frames for video encoding and shit like that. Not always going to be perfectly timed up to the frame, to the exact frame. So if we move along here, looks like on the right, he's about to land on that cliff right there. That frame right there, I would give him about 6 inches until he lands on that cliff, this frame. So let's count, let's go over to the left. Let's see when he lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 to 19 frames difference. Go to the right, he's about to land. Left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 frames. Yeah, almost a third of a second delayed again. So it looks like on the left, he's about to climb up. On the right, he's already climbed up. Uh-oh. Look at my character model. Let's look at my character model on both screens first before we look at his. So is he seeing me in real time? Let's take a look. Looks like on the right, my character leaves the ground at about this frame. So that right foot leaves the ground on this frame right here on the right. How about on the left? Looks like he's pretty much there. I would say it's probably one frame off. So right there on the left is when my character leaves the ground. This happens on the right, the very next frame, right there. That's 1 frame difference. Again, you know, we're going to allow plus or minus 1 to 2 frames just for video codec shit. But again, you know, just look at it. It's very synced up. The role for my character is very synced up. He's seeing me in real time. Any disparity there by 1 or 2 frames is just human error on my end for lining up the video. But again, that's, you know, a fraction of a fraction of a fraction. You know, when we start talking 20 frames, that's a huge fraction. So now we can start looking at him. So on the left, he hasn't even climbed up yet. On the right, he's basically standing on the top of the cliff. Move forward, inch forward a little bit here. Yeah, on the right, he's got 2 feet on the top of the cliff. On the right, on the left, he has, dude, he's not even halfway up yet. Look at this. Mid-roll. Okay, so on the right, he begins to toss a nade my way. On the left, this guy's mid-fucking-roll. He's standing on his fucking head. How the hell am I supposed to know this guy's throwing a nade at me right now? Huh? How in the fucking world am I supposed to know that I'm about to get hit with a nade? This guy's standing on his fucking head. So let's see when he releases that nade, huh? On the right. That frame right there is when he releases the nade. Right here. How about on the left? So on the left, he hasn't even begun throwing it yet. We'll still count though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so he starts throwing it right there. 13 frames. 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, there we go. 17 frames. You see the grenade is out on my screen. 17 frames. That's between 1/4 and 1/3 of a second. Delayed. That's a problem. That is a huge problem. Now, we can take a look at the score. Yet again, to make sure everything is perfectly synced up. No bullshit. Nobody's getting an unfair shake. So look at the right side. Look at the right screen. The blue score is going to tick up to 425, this frame right here. Now, move your eyes to the left. Same exact thing. Score is ticking from 424 to 425. This means this video is perfectly synced up. Could not be more perfectly synced up. In conclusion, the Japanese player is seeing me in real time, and I am seeing the Japanese player about 1/4 to 1/3 of a second late. Now, I do manage to kill him here, which is honestly surprising considering all of this. But, you know, honestly, I think I just got lucky.